No, the bus, there was something wrong with it. So it broke down at the top of the hill. And
Was that the trip done?
Trip done. So my dad had to come and pick up all of my friends.
Separately in trips?
Yeah, like, and husbands were coming and like, so we're, anyway. Oh.
At least Rebecca Lange,
Hey.
owner of Mingle Events Co.
Yes.
Welcome to Local Roots.
So excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here.
Yay.
I've been wanting to have you on since we started. Like, I think the first podcast we did, I was like, Mingle.
Well, when I seen you post it, I was like, she better ask me because I want to be on a podcast.
Definitely.
So thank you.
That's okay, no worries. So I want to start off with your story, personally, who you are, how you got to where you are. And
How long have we got? How much time have we got?
45 minutes to go crazy.
I love talking about myself.
Yes, please do. Yeah, so who you are, like start from as early as you could have thought of the seed of starting a business.
All right, so grew up in Mackay with my mum and my two brothers. So, but then my mum met Daryl, who's my stepdad, and he had 3 kids. So grew up Brady Bunch
like a
style.
big family.
Yeah. So, and I'm the youngest of all of them. So, I've obviously got very thick skin from all the bullying. Yeah, you get
I'm
it.
youngest too, I totally get that.
They all think, you know, I'm the spoilt brat, and
That's
they don't.
so true.
Yeah,
that's the same with me.
and that I didn't get in trouble for anything. You know, all this, you know, youngest
true,
family.
hey?
It's not true.
No way.
No, I got in lots of trouble, and I did.
Same.
But yeah, so I was the baby, and I guess I growing up was the bossy boots. So I think I always knew that I would be a boss one day
A
of
good
my
leader.
own business.
Yeah.
Good leader.
Yeah,
I showed very good leadership skills from a young age.
Yes.
So I know what I like. I know how to have fun. And I think that is the most important part of my business personally, is just having fun.
Yeah.
So I left school early. I was
Year
too
10
interested in
or
partying.
Year 10 or earlier?
Grade 11.
Oh,
I
yeah,
finished
yeah,
up.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so mum basically gave me the ultimatum.
Yeah.
You know, leave school or knuckle down and get into
The
it.
typical parent ultimatum.
Yeah, and I just thought I was a grown up and thought I'm going to leave and I'm going to work and be a grown up. So I did. I got a full-time job and I bought my first house at 18. Yes, crazy.
What?
Like, why? But anyway, I did that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like on my 18th birthday, signed the contract for the house.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that relationship didn't work out. But it was a learning
you gave it a
experience.
shot.
Yeah, so we bought a house together. And then, after about 4 years, realised that wasn't the right path for me. And then wanted to be single and was going to travel Europe and do all that sort of stuff, and met my husband after 4 months of being single.
That's always the case.
Yeah,
Hey?
so
You're like,
I wasn't
"Oh,
interested.
just live
and
my life."
yeah, so anyway, he was a single dad. So he had 2 7. Oh, actually, I think they were about 5, 6 at the time. Twins with autism.
Wow.
And so I was 21 and I was like, whoa, like, I don't want someone with kids and then to have special needs. I didn't even know what autism was at the time.
Yeah.
So it was, pretty full on.
Very educational, I bet.
Yeah. So, but we just connected and I just fell in love with him because he was a dad.
Yeah.
And such a good dad.
There's
So
something about that, hey.
it just made him a better person. Like he was more organised, more thoughtful, more grounded, and just fell in love with him. So anyway, the rest is history. We've been married 10 years next year. So yeah.
Did you guys get a house together?
We've had 2 houses together now, so it's going strong.
That's good.
Yes.
He's passed the house test.
Yes, he's passed the house test. So and we've had 2 little kids together as well,
Yeah.
Hugh and Hank. So
that's
I
so
love being a
cute.
mum to the 4 boys.
That's a lot. So
It's a
you
lot.
have 4 boys on top of running Mingle.
Yeah, so I have my 2 boys. Hank is almost 3 and Hugh just turned 8. And Lockie and Seth are 17-year-old twins,
Wow.
so they're grade 11.
Wow.
And they live with us 50-50 with their mum. So Jeremy works away Monday to Friday out at Collinsville, 3 hours away from home.
So do you look after the 2 oldest boys when he's gone, or it's on the...
Their mum does, and then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have them, when he's home. So
Yeah.
he's always done 7 and 7. It's only been recently this year that it's gone Monday to Friday. But
Crazy.
So I'm like have the mum life happening, and then
the boss life happening.
The boss life happening, and then I've got I work at the hospital as well in people and culture doing employee wellbeing.
You'd be really good at that.
Love it. It's like dream job. Well, aside from Mingle, but it's obviously pays better than being a small business owner. But
you quit your 9 to 5 to work for free 24/7.
100%. Yeah, no, it's I shouldn't complain. Like Mingle is doing really well.
Yeah.
It's just a lot with all the moving parts.
Totally.
Of life, but
that's business though. Hey, you learn. You learn what to do, what not to do.
Yeah, what works and where to cut back.
Yeah.
And
I think the people that actually stick in it are the ones that love what they do.
Yeah.
Like, because there's a lot of people.
You got to have that passion.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that give a business a crack and understandably decide it's not for them.
Yeah.
But the people that love what they do stick at what they do.
And I think like I never started Mingle as a source of income.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like
party.
It was more, my skill set is parties, organising events, and that's what I did for a few years as a side hustle, a creative outlet. As a mum with young children, I just wanted something that I could do on the side to have a social life, basically.
Yeah.
And then
you definitely have that.
Yeah. So I was just doing events for the first couple of years, and one day I was shopping with mum. She was like, Beck, let's go out to Cuttable. There's this cactus farm, and I really want to. She loves gardening, so she's like, let's go out here. I was like, okay, let's go for a Sunday drive. And so we drove out to Cuttable, met Tian, who's the owner of Horns and Thorns, loved her straight away, and she said, go down the road, there's this awesome little pizza shop that's just open, like an Italian pizza.
This is all in Cuttable?
Yeah.
What? I did not know this.
Well, it's not exactly Cuttable. She said down the road, but you know how country people say down the road and it's like 15 minutes later? Yeah, I thought it was like walking distance. It was not. So we go down the road to almost Seaforth. And anyway, we get there and it was Mount Duke's family farm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I love them.
And I got there and there's like chicken coops and this like big smoker and pizza oven and like a tent basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is cool. I didn't know this existed, and had this most delicious lunch. And then so we'd been shopping. Yeah. We went shopping and then went down the road to have pizza. And then after that, another friend that was with us for the day was like, since we're out here, on the way through in Habana, there's this little shop called Bella Bode. And I was like, never heard of it. Let's check it out. So drove to Habana, pulled up to Jane's house, which is on the top of this hill in Habana, and she's converted her garage into the most like luxe homewares, giftware shop.
Wow.
And got chatting to her and I was like, this is awesome. And obviously the business mind in me was like, I need to do a tour, like an event as a tour, shopping and food, and show people these amazing little spots that we have. So it was always just meant to be like a once-off event that was one of my events, and so naively rented a bus and got all my girlfriends on to like give it a trial run.
Was this the first one you've ever done?
Yeah, I was like hired a bus, got my girlfriends to come along so that I could just time it out and see how it was and what their feedback was. They had the best time. Actually, I should say the first ever time I took the bus out, it was actually at Bella Bode on the top of the hill. That we got out of the bus, first stop, and overwhelming smell of diesel coming out, and we were all just like, no, the bus, there was something wrong with it, so it broke down at the top of the hill. And
was that the trip done?
So my dad had to come and pick up all of my friends
separately in trips.
And husbands were coming, and at
least they were friends.
They were friends, and I was like, okay, I need a contingency plan if something like this happens.
Yeah, true.
So thank God it happened with my girlfriends, and we ended up just heading out to dispensary and getting on it for the rest of the afternoon. So that was fun too. But
so the one after that,
that was them again for round 2, and it worked perfectly. And then since then I was doing once a month or something like that, and it's now turned into like every Saturday and Sunday for the rest of my life, basically. Doing tours. So
that's a lot.
it's a lot, and I love it. And obviously Mackay loves it because 99.9% of my customers are locals. So I haven't even tapped into tourism yet, which is really cool. So it's just like local people supporting other small local businesses. So yeah it's really good. Yeah.
So you obviously take the bus, and do you only go one direction, or is it just like?
So I ended up buying my own bus, by the way.
Yes, I've seen it. It's got the Mingle on the side.
Yeah,
so
cool.
cool.
I've got my own bus, and we go every, well, there's a couple of different regions. So we do the southern tour, which is when we come to Roots, which we love. And then Serena Sugar Shed, obviously, because they're iconic and they do an amazing job. Love them.
Chef's kiss.
Yes, so good. Coco Loco, which is another supplier of yours too, I see, doing the chocolates. Yes. So I've got, those key sort of places that we go, and then I just like shuffle around for the southern tour, you know, based on availability. Then I have the northern tour, which is that Cuttable Seaforth area. There's another little goat farm in
is this
Mount Martin?
Something Gully?
Deep Gully.
Yeah, we have their milk here.
Yes, I seen that. And the soaps.
Yes. So, and their soaps. Yeah.
Their business is goats, and they milk them and make gelatos and cheeses.
That's so cool. I have
and
to
they're
go
just the
visit
best people. Like I've made the most beautiful friends out of doing Mingle as well, which is so cool.
So many connections.
And just salt of the earth people out there. So bloody love them. The northern tour, try and always go to Deep Gully, and then just mixing it up. The plan is to always go to 5 different mystery locations on the tour. So northern, the southern, I've got a Pioneer Valley as well, and then an Airlie Beach, which is...
Oh, you do Airlie?
I do Airlie,
wow.
yeah. So not as often, and it's very boozy. So it's like a bit of a pub crawly style, like a bougie pub crawl.
It's good. Your bus is like a party bus.
Like it's like
I like
to think of it as
cocktail bus,
like a luxe booze bus where everyone keeps it classy, day drinking, home by decent, by the sun goes down.
Team, like when what would you call them? Customers?
I call them my minglers.
Your minglers, that's it. Yeah, when your minglers come in, because I was like, you don't just do girls, like you have men as well.
Sometimes, like I guess women flock to it because it's shopping and it's food and it's social and whatever. But oftentimes people are like, can our husbands come? We want to do like a couple thing, or if it's a Christmas party, obviously the guys come along as well. And I try and tailor it for both.
What I find is when they come in here, it's like a rainbow.
Yeah,
like they're so
is something
stylish.
Like everybody, it's like an unspoken thing, I think, for my minglers.
That is so cool.
They dress up, so I can pick them. So when I go to our meeting location, which is usually in the city hut somewhere like House of Lavender in North Mackay, or Gypsy and the Bowerbird in the city hut, and I rock up there with my champagne, my to make mimosas for them on arrival, and my clipboard with all the the stuff, and I can just pick who is going to be on the tour because they're dressed to the nines, looking fabulous, and
that's like look at you though right now. I feel like that's a culture that you've created.
Like I guess well, the idea of it, like my vision, my idea is that I want it to feel like you're just hanging out with a girlfriend for the day. So I don't ever want it to be like a stuffy tour, like look to the left and there's the toad in the middle of Serena, or like I wanted it to be as if that first tour I ever had where it was just my girlfriends and just all of us coming together, and I like to like learn about each person when they sit up the front with me and get to know who they are and why they are doing the tour, and just chat like a girlfriend.
That's why your business has gotten so big, because you care, and you sit with them and you talk with them, and you're not just there making money, like it's like you're creating something for the community, so you're giving to them and then they're giving back to you. We find that that's what happens so
definitely
easily.
It's not just a service that is once off. I find I've got lots of repeating customers as well, which is always warms my heart when people finish a tour and then I get an email the next day and they're like, Beck, we're booking in for our Christmas party, or whatever it is.
Do you have a loyalty system or a loyalty?
I don't, but
I
thought that like a Mingle membership.
Yes,
because I like to keep the M's going. But I don't know. It's it's
that's
awesome.
really cool. Yeah. So you have like, how many, do you know roughly how many you've done Mingle tours?
No, but I would say that I have had hundreds of individuals come on my tours.
Yeah. So of all the groups that have ever come on Mingle, what's the one that's stood out the most? Like the most epic story you have of all of them?
Oh, well, what happens on a Mingle tour stays on a Mingle tour. No, look, in the whole time, so it's been 18 months that I've been doing the tours.
Yeah.
I've only had one person spew.
Oh, that's
good. Which I think is really pretty cool.
Good. And then for a bus with alcohol.
Exactly. And she was actually very classy with her spewing. It
like glitter.
The only reason I knew was because I could hear wafting smells into her shopping bag.
Oh,
and it was at the end of the day. And she had told me she doesn't drink a lot. And, that just went it happens.
I had too much of a good time.
I think so. She went too hard too soon. We've all been there. Yeah.
I've been there.
But yeah, no, I just, like last Saturday's tour, was a bunch of women who were dressed to the nines. They were just like having a good time.
Is that the group that came in here?
It was.
Yeah, they were lovely. Yeah.
And they were just like also wanting to get to know me, and I was wanting to get to know them, and they were just all successful, beautiful friends that, And halfway through I was like, guys, can you adopt me as your friend? Because I want to be part of the crew.
Yeah.
And it's those tours where I'm like, yeah, this is why I do it.
Yeah.
And I just want everyone to connect together, not have to organise anything for the day. Everything's looked after. And they just forget about all their responsibilities for the day.
Yeah.
And
that's so cool. I'm so happy for you,
Thank
to
you.
find something like that and really enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people find that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people search for it, but nobody's willing to actually take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
Well, a few people are, of course, but because that's the hardest part, I think, is stop overthinking and just do it.
Yeah.
And just give it a go.
That is me. I don't think enough.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think it might be the youngest thing.
I think I've always sort of been like, if I have an idea, I just go with it. And if it fails, I don't really care. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't work out. But I think I've, stumbled upon this successful little business that's happening, and I'm loving it. And I don't take it too seriously, but at the same time, I love what I do. So
I feel like that's a really key thing that you said is you have been knocked down, but you don't care. You move on. I think running routes, learning that, because having that rejection that constantly hits you, and when people are like, I don't want that, no, I'm not here for that, you have to get used to that, because that's running a business. Some people aren't gonna want what
you're not everyone's cup of tea. And you're right, sometimes I do have tours where I get home and I'm like, I've worked hard for my money today. That was hard work, because
Definitely.
I could have done cartwheels naked and they wouldn't have laughed or they wouldn't have thought it was a great day. But, some people have poker faces as well, and I'll get to the end of the tour and be like, okay, I don't think they loved it.
And they're like,
and then I get glowing reviews, the next week, and I'm like, oh, well, that's great. So I am still hard on myself, don't get me wrong. I put my heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And it's something that it's my everything, my baby, and so I really do value people's feedback that it was awesome, and if it wasn't awesome, I want to hear about it as well, so that I can make improvements.
You have to be open to that feedback. For
sure.
I've seen too many people be like, that's not true, I don't want to deal with that.
Yes.
But that feedback
defensive
is so crucial to you growing your business.
Of course,
you have to take that, and you can kind of gauge, okay, am I gonna do something about this, or is it just empty? Most of the time there's something in it that you could do better.
And I think you kind of know yourself too.
Yes.
Whenever I have had some feedback, I've always gone, I knew. I knew that. And then you can pick apart the Karens of the world that, you're probably, like I said, you're never going to impress. And although my work isn't hospitality, I think it is in a similar sort of,
you're
way.
hosting, which is pretty much hospitality.
For sure. Yeah. So, and that is really hard part of it, because we are going to 5 different destinations. I've got so much faith in the places that I'm going. They're going to do a good, thing as well, and they do, and that's why I keep coming back to, the ones that do put on a good show and a good food and good shopping and the right price and, all those things that are important. So,
it's a great business design. When you think about it, you're bringing awareness to the community. you're showing people our region.
Yeah.
And like you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just like everything about it is incredible.
Thank you.
You should be so proud.
Yeah. The only thing that's missing is like I've brought on Maria, who is a new, and it's really hard to even give us a title because we actually Maria and I talked about this today. We're not really a driver because we're not doing.
Because you're going in. You're in the field.
So it's like we're not just a driver, you're not just a tour guide, you're not just a event coordinator. Like it's really hard to title that job.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. Mama Mingler. I don't know
That's
what
so
to call
cool.
whether that would work.
I think you've established what you are. You're a mingler.
Yeah.
Like it's so unique and different in itself, and
it's
that's
like,
so cool. Like,
yeah, thank you.
I haven't seen much of it anywhere really. Like
I think like whenever I go away on holidays somewhere, I always look for like a pub crawl.
Yeah.
I mean, not
it's
with
like
the kids
research.
now,
it's
but
like us going to cafes and
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah. Oh, now for sure. But no. Whenever I've throughout my life gone to Canada or wherever, I've always looked at the food tours or the booze cruises or whatever it is because you meet other people, you get to experience the local, So I've always had that as an interest of mine that I would pay to do that somewhere. So in the back of my head, I always had that seed, I suppose, of inspiration, and then combining that with the love of Mackay, passionate about supporting other small businesses as well. And if we're all succeeding, that makes my business great.
That's
because
so true,
if all of the people I visit continue to be in business and continue to grow, then I'll always have places to visit. So it's a really
totally just summed up what it's like helping community. So it's like the way that we support local farms.
Yeah,
it's an ongoing flow.
Yeah,
like that.
You've always got available produce.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
I love it. Okay, I've got some questions here. Number 1.
Hit me.
What does running your business mean to you personally, and how has it shaped you to who you are today?
Running it personally, I think it's the ability to call my own shots. So I only do tours that resonate with me. So
that you would enjoy.
That I would pay money to go on is my standard. So being able to have the flexibility to work the days that I want to work it around my family. Although now that it's so busy, it is hard to find that balance. But that's why I've got Maria on helping. I would love to have another of Maria as well, or another of me would be great.
I think people would jump at the opportunity to have that kind of job.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough job because you've got to be responsible
too.
Yep, you've got to be a safe driver. You've got to be organised, time efficient. You've got to be a people person. You've got to you've got to be able to talk to 20-year-olds as well as 70-year-olds and find connection.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to communicate with each of the.
Find someone like that.
Yeah, it's really tough. Like when I was training Maria, I was like, and the question she was asking, I was like, oh yeah, I do that naturally, and I've just evolved over the time. But actually writing a job description of what's expected, I'm like, wow, this is a lot. It is a really unique.
Do you want someone else?
Yeah.
Guys, she wants someone else.
Yes, if anyone's out there that would love to eat and shop all day on the weekends. Yeah, I am hiring for the right person. It's it's a unique opportunity.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect for somebody who is also passionate about Mackay. That loves chit-chatting with random people all day.
If I don't have a business,
I know. Can you just stop what you're doing here and come to me? No. When I find the right person, it will be amazing.
It'll be perfect.
Yes. And my dream is to have more buses, be able to...
all the Mingle buses going around.
I know. I could have a whole fleet. Who knows?
That's
cool. It's something that can grow as a franchise even. There's nothing in Airlie like this. There's nothing in Townsville. I don't even think there's something like this in Brisbane. No, I know that there is a similar style business in the Sunny Coast. And in my infancy in business, I actually reached out to them and they did a bit of a mentoring session with me, which was really cool. So, shout out to Creative Tours on the Sunny Coast. They were awesome. So, they're kind of the trailblazers of this kind of work, I think. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've got, like you said, like the pub crawls and stuff like that, but nobody actually gets in amongst the people and like goes in and like gives them the experience that they would want to have.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's not just like, you're not just hiring a bus for the day and it's an experience.
Would you do a staff trip with us?
Yes.
Like because we've been wanting to go to Airlie.
Yes.
So, and I was
I'll go anywhere, and that's the thing. So I've got my set tours where I just do the things that I think are fun and, have a set price or whatever. But I have, had lots of custom tours where people are like, oh, we really want to go here, here and here. We've got 11 of us or whatever. And then I just work out a price for that.
Cool.
So,
because we were going to just hire a bus, but that's like, I know.
I was just going to open a restaurant called Roots in Mackay. I'm joking.
So sorry. I didn't even think of it as an option. I don't know why.
God.
How big's your bus? How many seats can it fit?
12 seats. Plus driver, so 11 customers. 11 minglers.
We can take another car though.
I think you could run a competition with your staff. Like whoever sells the most coffees for the week gets to go on the tour.
that would make us a lot of money.
Is that bad leadership style? I don't know.
No, not at all.
I love a bit of healthy competition.
Yeah, me too. That would be so fun though. Like, we could do the bus and then we could have like one car behind it. And I think that'd be
for sure. That's happened too. Like, If,
then we can
if someone is not drinking or whatever, they can drive and the others pile in and
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. Can you recall a moment when you realized the true impact your business had on lives of your customers or the community?
Oh. I think it's just been like an organic thing. I didn't really realize what I was onto until, I started. Random people would be like, oh, I've heard of you do the tours and blah blah blah, like if I run into them in the shops or whatever. And so the growth of it as a small business into something that people on the street know about has been a bit like, wow, that's awesome. And watching the businesses that I go to thrive and continue to grow and seeing that has been the most rewarding. And then for the customers, I guess just seeing their happy faces and the feedback they send me and, sometimes at the end of a tour, they will all cheer for you and be like, 3 cheers for Beck. And yes, they've had a bottle of wine, but, at that point in time, I am just like loving life. So
that's so cool.
It's, tours like that.
Definitely bring a lot to our business too. Like the awareness that it's interesting, even though we've been here for a while and our name has been out there, like in articles and stuff, a lot of people still don't know we're here. Yeah. So having Mingle.
And isn't that cool? Like I always used to think that was like a bit offensive. Like, oh, you don't know about me? Like I'm working so freaking hard. How do you not know? But it's also a bit of a like, whoa, there's so many more customers out there for me that I didn't even know I could have. That is one thing I'm passionate about. I know Tasmania did a marketing campaign for their tourism a while ago. I don't know the specifics, but basically their campaign was not aimed at external, people on mainland or whatever. It was focused on the locals and being proud of your community and showcasing your tourism opportunities. And, going to a cafe in Tasmania, they'll say, so where are you girls off to next? And have you tried out the little, shop down the end of the street? Mackay doesn't seem to do a lot of that. You guys are doing that. So like connecting with other businesses, supporting other businesses, it makes you want to go back to that place because and it just feeds that tourism and that getting people out and shopping and spending money and all that sort of stuff. So
I've spoken to a few people, other business owners, about this as well. And Serena in particular, I mean, I don't know any other small towns. I'm sure it's in a lot of small towns though. I think it's the tight-knit community. But also the farming culture and the working culture. I think a lot of people aren't like wasting their time on their phones or like stuff like that. So they still have that community connection at the front of their mind. I think that as much as phones are such a great asset to our life, and I use my phone all the time for work, it's disconnecting us from the community and we have to actively want to be back in the community.
It's such a catch-22 in my world because my whole business is on my phone.
Same, yeah.
And so to find new destinations, to communicate with people, to get my customers, social media, like all that sort of stuff, I spend a lot of time on my phone or on my laptop. And I do find that it drains my soul because, it is. I want to spend time with my kids and, so finding that balance.
It's finding that harmony between I need to do work, but I also have to connect with humans.
Yes.
And I think we have to be aware of that as being phone users or social media users or anything like that. Just being like aware of the fact that, okay, this is draining me, but I still need to have energy to connect with people because that's what's so important. But could talk about that all
in terms of your business standing out to a lot of, cafes, is that you guys really do want to support other shops and businesses in your community, and that's really refreshing. And I think it's the only way that a business can continue to thrive in a community, because you need your community to also be successful to continue, and then giving your customers recommendations on, if you're staying here for a couple of days, have you heard of Serena Sugar Shed, or have you, gone down the road to Coco Loco, there's all of those sorts of opportunities.
Well, we wouldn't be here without our locals, no doubt. Like,
for sure.
When the traveling season dies, they're the ones that keep us going because,
and they love you.
And we love them so much. Like, we wouldn't be here without them for sure. And they've been through a lot of waves of changes and everything like that. And we've got some true regulars that have just like stuck with us.
That's awesome. I mean, it's
so
like
grateful.
Mackay doesn't even have something like this.
It's sad.
So it's
there's
Serena
potential
is so
for
lucky.
it though.
Oh, there is.
Like,
if you want to open up a sister, shop,
we
definitely
have thought about it. Not gonna lie.
Yes.
We really want to. Our goal is, we've seen this happen too many times, is people get excited and then go do something else and forget about the reason they're doing it. So we want to do this really well, and then of course our first place we'd probably go is Mackay, and probably just like a hole in the wall or something where we can sell the veggie boxes that are locally sourced. Bring a little piece of this there.
Don't reinvent the wheel. Just, find. And what I've seen with a lot of businesses is you've got in your head, this is what I want. And yes, you do need to have a vision and have, an idea of where you see yourself going. But you shouldn't be afraid to pivot as well. Like if the customers aren't wanting this, then, and they're wanting that, then that's sort of where you need to nurture, still keeping true to yourself.
Yes.
But, don't be afraid to pivot in business, I think.
Well, I don't know if were you following us when we went through COVID?
I think so.
We had to pivot massively there because of the regulations that happened.
For sure.
So we had to figure out a way that would work. So we couldn't just mainstream run a business. We had to make it work for everyone in our region, because we weren't going to segregate, because that was like our mission to make sure that everyone is welcome. So that is just a huge example of what it's like. But we deal with mini ones of those every single day.
For sure.
So it's like when we first moved here, we did service periods. So we did open, which I think was like 7 till 10, and then we did 11 till 2, but there was a period in the middle that we weren't doing. I don't know why we did it. We weren't doing any food, and we thought it would be the best thing ever, but we had to pivot. We pivoted to try
because people kept asking.
And then nobody liked it, so we're like, okay, pivot back this way. So you do definitely have to listen, but you have to give things a go, I think. For sure. And make sure that it's definitely not going to work. And
sometimes customers' recommendations are great, but they don't have the last 10 years 5 years whatever experience that you've worked through to make that decision.
That's so true.
And so whilst someone looking in can be like, oh, why don't you just do this, or you could do that, it's not always
the
able
whole
to happen. They don't understand the cost of what that would have done for your business if you didn't do food for 2 hours of the day, or whatever the issue was. Did you see I don't know if you saw our recent post about the coffee breakdown? I did.
Coffee cup breakdown.
Yes.
People love that.
Yes.
Which is,
there was one person that was like,
oh yeah, there's always one. We just let them go.
It's like, how much do you pay your staff then? I was like, I think you're missing the point of all of this.
We were I think we said, what would you like to know? We can tell you. And then she just didn't reply.
Yeah,
so
she just wanted to.
It's just, Karens.
Karen.
Sorry for good Karens.
Do you know I've not met a Karen I don't like?
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, I love Karens.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What was I saying about that? Yes, educating.
Yes.
So I think in hospitality, we're so afraid of showing too much because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that's not pretty.
Yeah.
But showing stuff like that is so important. I think especially the way that the food industry is pivoting, because things are getting really expensive. And if we don't explain
we're not just money gouging. We're not just out to make a buck. Like we've got to, if you want this place to continue, we have to meet the bottom line.
Exactly.
And pay ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that people get into business and they do it for their passion usually.
Yes. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if it's not paying the bills, the business has to close and they have to go and do something else.
Yeah.
And so people don't realize that people aren't out there to like rot the system and, you know, they're not rolling around in their money, you know, because they've bought a $7 coffee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so much that goes into it.
Totally. Yeah. Especially if you support local, because we would rather pay more, charge more and support locals than charge cheap.
And have the quality.
And have not only quality, we're not supporting our local farmers.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think that that's the biggest thing that we need to tell the story about, because it's easy to see. I would see a $7 coffee and be like, why is that so expensive?
Yeah.
But if people know why, then it's like, oh, that makes sense.
Exactly. So and because there's not many people doing it in Mackay, that people would go gawk at it. Yeah. Well, I feel like they probably wouldn't. I just tap wherever I go. So until someone's like, that was expensive. I'm like, oh, was it?
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. And if it's like a nice atmosphere and the staff are good,
exactly.
You never look at the
price. Experience for sure.
Definitely.
It's only when something doesn't go right, you're like, hang on, I paid
$5 for sauce?
Yeah. But
how do you stay motivated during challenging times, and what keeps you going when things get tough?
I have a really close-knit family. My husband's, obviously my biggest supporter. He is at home with the kids, doing football, doing, all the stuff whilst I'm out mingling. Actually, he used to say, oh, you're off socialising all weekend and I'm at home, like, looking after the kids. I was like, it's work. And he's like, sure it is. And then he actually took a tour once. He was driving to LA.
Hey,
yeah. And he got back that night and was just like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I said, you know that it's a lot of work now. And I would get home and I would cook dinner and I would be mum and, do all this stuff. So I think it gave him a really good appreciation that although it looks seamless and fun and the photos are beautiful and everything, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Yeah.
A lot of our girls here want to do like a swap with their partner so that they can experience what works. Like, they're like, you just cook food all day.
It does go both ways though. I'm
totally.
sure, that my husband doesn't want to be away from his family all week. He's working 12-hour shifts. He's got, a lot of responsibility. So I wouldn't want to swap my job to do his job either. But it's nice when they finally have an appreciation for what you do. Yeah.
So your family would be your biggest support.
My mum looks after the kids to help me, and my stepdad Daryl, and my girlfriends are mainly my sounding board. So I've got a really close friend who is in HR. So I obviously run all HR questions through her, and then I'm a talker. So if I've got like a weight on my shoulders, I'll be blabbing to anyone that's going to listen until the solution feels good, you know. And I usually already know what the answer is to my problems, but I need to like verbalize it. So
you're so much like me, it's crazy. It makes me realize, like, I think the birthing order is like
could be relevant.
Family. Mine's definitely family too.
Family for sure. And then I do take a lot of, in the little tiny windows that I get in my life, to socialise with my friends, I do. Or to like go and have a coffee with my mum, or to go and have a massage, or, I definitely try and do me time in those little glimmers of opportunity. But I'm also a perfectionist, so my house has to be organised, and if it's not, then I'm like frazzled, which it's not right now.
Who or what has been your biggest source of inspiration on this journey, and how has that influenced your approach to your work?
Oh, who or what? I guess my mum is always my biggest supporter. So she, has always thought that I would reach great heights for whatever I decided to do. She's just one of those awesome mums that, she'll pull a shopkeeper over and be like, isn't my daughter beautiful? And I'll just be like, Mum, can you stop? You're so killing me. I know. So I know that I am so lucky to have that. So and she's a really smart lady. She's done her master's degree, so I admire her for that stuff. So yeah, definitely making Mum proud, I guess, is like my inspiration. And then proving to my kids that you can follow your dreams and do what brings you joy, and you don't have to go to work and hate your life every day. You know, it's there are opportunities for everyone. This high school dropout, can run a successful business. So
you're fine.
Yeah, I'm like, look at me now.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so good. Okay, last one, and then I'll ask you another question, but that's not on here. What legacy do you hope your business will leave in the in the community, and how do you want to be remembered by those you serve?
When I die?
I guess so.
Whoa, morbid. I don't know. Love it. No, it's cool. I actually was hooked on a podcast called Morbid Podcast.
Oh, perfect. Well,
where they went through like murder mystery.
Really
anyway.
So what would your legacy be?
No, so I don't know. I would just love people to think of me as someone that brought fun, connection. So making friendships, connection through business. Just someone that like lived life to the fullest.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And just wrote the story of my life the way I wanted it.
Yeah. That's so nice. And your eulogy?
Let me just find. I've got it typed up somewhere. No.
Oh man. Okay. That's pretty much all the questions I have. Do you have anything else you want to say to anyone what would you say to a young person that wants to give a business a go? Or an old person.
Anyway, exactly. You don't. Age. Yeah, I'm not young anymore. Yeah. I know I look it.
You look it.
No. I think it's hard to say. So I've said this too many times to those close to me, but if you knew the stress and the hard slog of running your business, you might not do it. Do you know? Like, so I know. Yeah. So sometimes you're just like, whoa, like this is more than I bargained for. But that's just when you're having a growth period, I think, of like so uncomfortable feelings. So once you get through that and you see the success, or you see, the next level up you are in your business, it's like, oh, well, that was really cool. Like that was worth it. And this is why I do it. And, all that sort of stuff. So I guess don't let the first few, knocks turn you down from doing it. Like persevere if it's the right thing. Like if in your gut that this is what I want and this is going to be a successful business, then just keep going with it.
I feel like I have to hold my tongue a lot when people are like, oh, like what would you do if you could do it again, or like what if I want to run a business, should I do it? And I'm like, yes, you definitely should. It's so fun. Like it's so rewarding, but it's hard.
Do you know, this sounds like what I say about kids too.
That's so true.
But you love them, and it's the same with business. It's like that unconditional love, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And just it is rewarding at the end of it.
For sure.
When you are your own boss, it's very, very fun.
And I think, once you grow it to a point where it's financially rewarding, then, that's the holy grail.
Yes.
But as long as you're paying your bills along the way,
definitely,
and you're, managing your work-life balance, I think, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I would encourage anyone to do it. And you don't have to come from money. You don't have to have done university degrees. You don't have to, there's so many misconceptions out there. If you've got a good idea and you're passionate like that, you're halfway there.
Definitely. Yeah. Just back yourself no matter what.
Pretty much.
I think one of the biggest things, actually I had a conversation with one of our work guys before wanting to open a cafe. And
we just like, get out of here. Stop stealing all my ideas.
It's in Spain, so it's not too bad.
Oh, that's fine.
You can go for it. But I just said, fake it till you make it.
For sure.
He's
my God.
Did you know anything about coffee when you first started? And I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I knew how to make a coffee. That's it.
And I think that puts a lot of people off because they're like, I knew in my gut I always wanted to be my own, like have my own business, and I didn't know quite what it was going to be. I knew it would be something creative, but always thought like, what do I know owning a business? What like, you know, just like you opening coffee shop, like what do I know about coffee or, you know, whatever it is. But I think once you just have a vision and you have a dream and you just make it happen, you learn on the job and fake it till you make it for sure. Yeah. Like, the things I've learned along the way.
It's definitely a confidence builder running a business too.
For sure.
You have to have confidence, especially in yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's
I can be, feeling really down and out and driving to my first, you know, tour of the weekend, and I just like dig deep and go,
bring the energy.
You are a queen. You are a badass.
Plays affirmation.
And then, as soon as I see people having a good time, I'm just like, oh, this is awesome.
I'm doing good.
I'm comfortable. This is
definitely
great. Yeah. So, and you'd be the same once you get here and you see people chatting and
that
buying
coffee in the
stuff
morning.
And the coffee.
When I get here, I'm like, coffee.
Seriously,
coffee.
That would be a perk.
Right. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I hope you have me again. When,
totally.
In a year's time.
I hope so too.
Yeah, where I'm at.
It's actually a really good idea.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Look at me just recruiting myself.
Well, like even all the business that I do interview, re-interviewing them as time goes on.
Yeah. And like revisiting what my thoughts were at the time. And
we can rewatch it. We can do one of those react
cringe.
cams.
I can't wait to see myself on camera. I'm very excited.
You be me trying to edit this every single time I do one of these, and it's like I want to cut that whole section because I look like that, but I'm not going to because realness.
Exactly. Authenticity. Exactly. And that is why you guys are thriving, and that's why I'm thriving, because you
are who we are.
You're true to yourself.
Exactly.
So,
so thank you so much. If you want to do a tour around the region, Mingle Events Co.
So
is the place to go.
Is probably something we didn't cover is Mingle Events Co is my business.
Yes.
And I do events, host different events, but Mingle Minis Tours is the new sort of pathway of Mingle Events Co, but the company is Mingle Events Co.
Yes, So you're now pretty much doing the bus tours most.
Yeah, I don't have much time for anything else right now. And where I was saying with the pivoting, you know, I was trying to do events and large scale events, and they were just a lot of hard work and a lot of hard work. And you don't make any money out of big events. No, and I learnt that the hard way. But so the tours ended up being my bread and butter now. So that's Mingle Minis Tours.
Mingle Minis Tours.
Yeah,
check it out. Facebook, Instagram.
Come party.
Is that it? Facebook and Instagram? Do you have a
Facebook,
TikTok?
Instagram. I do have a TikTok. It's very cringe. It's not a lot about events, but follow that.
I'm going to look that up as soon as we're done here. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It's so lovely
to
have
me.
you.
Yeah, love it.